I've got such great respect and love for Coach O. When I called Coach O and told him that I was taking the Baylor job, he was so happy for me. I told him that I'd learned more from him than any other coach I'd been around. His story of hardships, learning from those hardships, applying lessons learned, having success, and then sharing it with a group of men. There isn't a better story than that. And I'm so blessed to be a part of that. And I thank Coach O for that.
Hello and welcome to Tigers Roar. I'm Jonathan Poche alongside Buddy Sanjay here on Tigers Roar. We're at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Very convenient to Airline Highway. Come check it out. Games all around. TVs everywhere you look. Great food, great drinks, great bartenders, great people. Come check out Scoreboards. Once again, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. You saw in the opening clip, Dave Aranda, the new head coach at Baylor University. The 2019 college football season is officially over. LSU, as you know, went 15-0, won a national title. Everybody kind of wants a piece of that Tiger action now. You start losing pieces. 2 assistant coaches have left. Plethora of players, senior and juniors, leaving for the NFL draft. I want to bring in the Budman, Buddy Sanjay, here on a Wednesday night.
JP, good to see you. You know, as the show started, my nose was itching. That means somebody wants to kiss you. And so I'm going to kiss everybody, blow you a kiss for the incredible football season that everybody that is a Tiger fan experienced. And as par for the course, there's been a lot of freak out since the national championship. Of course, the first faux pas was Odell Beckham Jr. getting stupid and doing illegal stuff in the championship celebration. And then shortly thereafter, as the days went on, it's been, as you said, a bunch of people, 9 in all, with players that have decided to take their game to the NFL. A redshirt sophomore, Caleb Chason. Patrick Queen just blew up, too good not to go right now. Jacob Phillips, good year, another year with over 100 tackles. Joe Burrow, how about that? He eats the famous Burrow steak last night in Cincinnati. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, what a special year for him, and so happy for him, and I hope he gets with the right team. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, you know, they doubled Chase against Oklahoma, so Jefferson catches 4, and, you know, Venables of Clemson said, well, we're going to double Jefferson, so then Chase lights it up. That was the thing about LSU's offense this year, pick your poison, and, of course, the rest of the guys that are all leaving, 9 in all, and we know that Lloyd Cushenberry is going to play in the Senior Bowl. What can you ask of a guy? He got his degree. He graduated in 4 years. He did redshirt, but got bigger, stronger, and better. Won a national championship. I mean, what else is there to achieve in college? So, but nine players that had eligibility are off to the NFL. By the way, Kristen Fulton, in case you do not know, is a senior, but he did not go to the Senior Bowl. Said he was tired, had some family issues to deal with. But the 4 guys you'll see in the Senior Bowl, if you watch the Senior Bowl on Saturday, Cush and Damian Lewis, once again, on the offensive line, Blake Ferguson, the deep snapper, and Stephon Sullivan, who obviously is a guy that has the measurables, but really hasn't had the stats and hadn't had the opportunities to catch the football and make a lot of plays. But we've been talking about it, and I think all of us, to a man, to a woman, to a kid, I mean, have you ever seen a fan base this invested, this involved, this fired up about a team, and to be able to take it and go all the way 15-0, unprecedented? Hated not to be here last week, but TK did a good job, and so we're still kind of reminiscing and still putting the bouquets on that. But it's something that I don't know if I'll ever see again, but I know one thing. I'll never see another quarterback like Joe Burrow, who obviously deserves all the things that he has coming to him. But once again, enjoy it, inhale it, smell it. You know, Dale Brown used to say about cologne, if you put too much, it's not good. But this cologne for LSU 2019 football is going to be prevalent for a long, long time.
That's right.
And I think, you know, you hate to say it because the Saints had an opportunity in that Superdome to advance. But all in all, Southern Saints and Tigers, the main three that we worry about. Pretty special year, JP.
It was fantastic. In fact, we have some highlights from the national championship game. We didn't get to talk to Buddy last week, so we'll go ahead and roll those highlights and talk about it a little bit. Joe Burrow started off right where he wanted to be. Didn't feel the pressure too much. LSU went down double digits. The first time all season they come back hot. They see the first play on offense, well, the first big play for offense, called back for a penalty, but then they got in the rhythm. We talked about Jamar Chase. He had an outstanding game, a great flavor to leave the LSU fans' mouths for this offseason.
Well, I think that probably calmed a lot of the nerves of Tiger fans once you saw Jamar Chase. So this is another play where he gets some big yardage. That's the key play of the ball game right there to me. It's third down. Burrow with the quarterback draw makes it 17-14. Justin Jefferson, you know one thing about this kid, I like the way he puts his head down and gets extra yardage this year.
There's been a lot of mock drafts out there already. I know the Super Bowl hasn't even played yet, but a lot of people are saying he's going in the first round around the 24 to 26 pick. Saints pick at 24. He'd be a great addition to that Saints offense.
Chase another touchdown, and then Burrow. Boy, you got to have big onions to call that. On no timeout, third down, you call a quarterback draw. Burrow gets it out of bounds. They score, and of course take the lead, 28-17. This was a big one once again with the bubble over to Chase, and I watched this game obviously live. I watched it shortly after the game, a replay, and then I watched it in halves. But I've seen it a couple times, and it never gets old, JP.
Got to be happy for a guy like that. Moss guy dealt with a lot of adversity in his career. Came back, scored 2 touchdowns in a national championship. They see another catch from Jefferson. He really got going later in the game. And look, when Joe Burrow got clicking, there was no stopping that LSU offense.
Terrace Marshall, folks, book him. He's going to be fantastic. Him and Chase will be the best duo in the country if Miles Brennan can deliver the football. Once again, Grant Delpit forcing his final turnover at LSU. And here's my guy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Awesome that he finally got some yardage at the end. I really didn't think they used him enough earlier in the game. But once again, there you see the hugs. And boy, when you start talking about all the players that LSU is going to lose, you say, wow. But you know what? Now at this point, it's next man up and it's reload. So your first big opportunity to assess where LSU is in 2020, second week of the season, hosting Texas in Tiger Stadium. You know it's going to be special.
Buddy, we just watched the national championship highlights one more time. Got to ask you, was 2019 LSU Tigers the best team in college football history?
You know, I like to let a little age on the bottle of wine before we open it up and enjoy how good it is. It does get better with age, but man, it's from a statistical standpoint and a resume, it is tough to beat 7 top 10 teams that they took down. All of the yardage, all of the points, the quarterback play. It's hard to dispute it, but look, I think we'll have a better idea of that as we let it sink in over the years. But I'll tell you what, it's the best I've ever seen at LSU. Burrow's the best ever. Wide receiving core, the best ever. Offensive line won a Joe Moore Award. I mean, you could sit here and talk about they got to build a whole new section over at LSU, all for the new hardware that's coming in after this year. And what a great celebration this past Saturday out at LSU.
They got tippy hat to LSU. The whole city of Baton Rouge did a great job of honoring that national championship team. A lot of people showed up, had the parade. Joe Burrow was looking cool as ever, had his shades on. You know, he was enjoying his time. And he's done with his college athlete. He is now a professional. He's signed. Going to sign with the Nation, going to move on to the NFL. Going to be probably, in all likelihood, the first overall pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Cincinnati, now that, you know, Carolina, now that they have Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator, and that's his first head gig as an offensive coordinator, they're trying to move up and take Joe, but we'll see what Cincinnati does. It's a great fit, him being a former Ohio superstar high school player. But I noticed this about Burrow, and he's so, everything he does is so calculated. So I'm watching him on the beads route, okay?
Yeah.
So he's got the hat backwards, he's got the sunglasses. He's not doing this, JP.
Right.
He's throwing the beads underhand.
Yeah.
He didn't want, I mean,
No wear and
he's
tear.
taking it all in. And once again, It just is one of these things where memories, you could be on the couch, you could be in the rocking chair, you could be 20, 30, 50, 100. You're going to talk about it for as long as we all live because it was that special.
And you see these guys going to the pros, the whole slew of them. What they do in their next step of their career will really define this is the best college football team in history. I mean, you talk about the Miami teams, the Wisconsin teams. Those guys all had a lot of success in the NFL. There's no limit to Joe Burrow's success. I believe he'll be an NFL franchise quarterback for 10, 15 years. Hopefully he gets in the right system with an offensive line that can protect him and some weapons on the outside. Hopefully, if Cincinnati does take him #1 overall, they'll build around him instead of trying to make him fit to the scheme they have.
No doubt about it. Nebraska in the 90s, Miami 2001, Florida State as of late when they won with Jimbo. All those teams are being mentioned, but some national pundits have picked up the ball and run with it about this being the greatest ever. Like I said, I do think in today's world of media, we sometimes rush too quickly. To show you a quick story going back, Oklahoma was steamrolling everybody in 2003. And this legitimately happened. ESPN, so I mean, they're steamrolling everybody. And they've got the BCS system.
Yep.
And it's OU, LSU, and Southern Cal. Southern Cal was up there. But the system, the way it was, is that Oklahoma could actually lose to to Kansas State in the bowl game, and they did, 35-7, and they still got in. But the 7th or 8th week during the season, the pundits started going with this logic: this is the best college football team ever, and everybody's going like, wait a minute, they haven't even finished the season. So I'm a little leery to jump in and make mass and rash judgments and assumptions and classifications about the greatest or the best or whatever. But I will say this, and you're not supposed to say never, I don't think I have ever seen the fan base enjoy the entertainment value, the W's, and the class. Now, I know you can beat them up, forget the GAT and all that other stuff, what it means, but they had a lot of fun.
They did.
They had great chemistry.
Yep.
They loved each other.
Yep.
And let's be honest, that Ben Bordelon's wife went crazy viral when she started off the GAT at the White House. And you know, President Trump did not want to tell everybody, but in case you don't know and you have been a little foggy, he loves him some LSU.
He does. And not really supposed to record in the White House, but somehow that leaked out to social media. And look, the young kids loved it. I mean, LSU is a hot brand right now, especially with these young recruits. And any publicity right now is going to be good publicity for LSU. They win a national title, they go viral, and they get the GAT. That's a new viral thing. You know, people all around the world are doing it. And yeah, it's a good time to be LSU Tiger. We have a lot more here on Tigers Roar. We tape here on the January 22nd. About 5:45 tonight will be Zion Williamson's regular season debut for the New Orleans Pelicans. Come check him out here at Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. It's going to be a great show. That team is very talented right now, centered around Brandon Ingram. Won 5 of the last 7, getting that #1 overall pick back at a good time.
8:30 tonight on ESPN, the late game, and I would be very disappointed if they don't fill up the stadium tonight for Zion's debut. By the way, one other little tidbit about the celebration. I heard Michael Barnett telling the media this, and I think it's worth repeating. But they were very proud because the White House people, and he said, look, you know, I don't know if the guy was BSing me or not, but he said that was probably the most humble and polite and well-behaved team that ever came in there. And they got more than just the regular tour. They got the whole shoot match on what they were able to see and enjoy. And it's nice. I mean, we want to see them win. We want to be entertained. But let's be honest, it always makes your heart feel a little bit better when you do it the right way. And yes, there were some bumps in the roads and some hurdles to overcome, obstacles to jump through. But for the most part, this one's going to go down. And you kind of feel bad for Miles Brennan in that offense next year because, man, if he completes 60 to 65% and they have 30 touchdown passes instead of 60, can you believe it, JP? 60 freaking touchdown passes. You'll never, ever see it again. 20, 18, and 13, your top wide receivers, Chase, Jefferson, and Marshall. And then the tight end coming on, you know, him and Joe are tight. He had 3 touchdowns. 14 touchdowns accounted for in the 2 CFP games by Burrow. Those are records that are not going to be broken anytime soon.
Another cool thing about the White House celebration, 100% of the players attended for respect to the office and getting the chance to go. I mean, how often are you going to go to the White House? I know I'm not being invited anytime soon, but 100% of the players went. They all enjoyed it. You saw Joe Burrow say, regardless of Republican, Democrat, whatever, it was just a cool experience to get to go to the White House, meet the president, see all the history around that place. It's got to be really special. Outstanding by those young men, as you mentioned, to be representing LSU so well in the nation's capital.
But now you need a defensive coordinator. We'll talk about that during the duration of the show tonight. Got to get a passing game coordinator. Some other things going on. We'll talk about that. We'll have a recruiting update with Mike Scarborough. And once again, plenty of film and plenty to talk about. Hey, how about that Tiger basketball team? I had a really close friend of mine. I called him. He said, I'm at the store getting Just for Men. Because this team is putting gray hair on people, but they're 6-0 and they just find a way. Had a 10-point lead. This is what's so sad about fans. And I wasn't there. I like to watch them on the tube, but all of a sudden you see people leaving. They're up 10. Next thing you know, it's a 2-point game.
Right.
And officials blew a call at the end. I don't know what Skylar Mays did to lose possession of the ball. It got knocked out of his hand. They give the ball to Florida. And thank goodness it was shot after the buzzer. But LSU holds on 6-0. And with their next 3 SEC teams, LSU will be favored. They could easily start the season 9-0. How about Will Wade? And they just find a way. If there's a will, there's a way, and they're finding it right now.
That's right. 84-82 was the final score against the Florida Gators last night. From the PMAC, it was a great show for all the fans that attended. We'll get into that game and hear from Coach Will Wade and some players when we come back from this break right here on Tigers Roar.
Remember what these trips were like before you put the screens in the back seats?
I don't want to think about it.
Are we there yet? I'm hungry. Where are we?
Go, go, go. That game should keep them occupied.
Oh, yeah!
Dad.
Oh, in your face!
Don't make me get back there.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach?
Mm-hmm.
Told you.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
LSU Tigers took on the Florida Gators last night from the Pete Maravich Center. 84-82 is the final. LSU had a double-digit lead late in that game. Florida came roaring back, but LSU hold on to the win. Will Wade picking up right where he left off last season in the SEC.
This is why you don't gamble, okay? The line on the game was 3. So I'm having my basketball guy, Henry Hayes, on, and we're talking about it. And I predicted LSU to win 73-70 by 3. Lo and behold, it goes a little higher scoring than that. They're up 10, JP, with what, a minute and a half?
Yep.
Can you imagine if you laid 3 and LSU wins by 2? You had to be pulling for them to go into overtime.
That's right.
So that you could cover. But I will say this, and I apologize to the LSU faithful. I did not know it. I gave Coach Will Wade a box of Manda spicy sausage, and I think he ate some of it before the game because he was wound up last night.
He was. He was acting up on the sideline. They had some people tweeting from Florida. Of course, I followed the game live on Twitter, and everybody was talking about how they appreciate how their coach wasn't acting up like Will Wade. But look, the kids, they feed off that energy. He's always been that way. He's wears his heart on his sleeves. A lot of people in Louisiana are just the same way. And so fans can relate. They see Marlon Taylor with an outstanding rim rattle. I mean, that was an angry dunk right down the field.
He's the key with him back. Of course, Charles Manning had a foot problem similar to Terrace Marshall, so he'll be out another 2.5, 3 weeks. But they're running on empty right now, JP. Old Jackson Brown song. I only played 7 guys last night, and I just don't know how much they can go. They've got to get some of these other guys involved. Hyatt's got to play more. Yep. Marshall Graves got to play more. You wish you could get a few minutes out of Cortez Cooper and others, but I tell you what, Coach Wade was wound up, and that was a big one. There's Skylar Mays hitting the buzzer beater right there at the shot clock.
Will Wade gets his 6th win of the SEC play so far, led by Emmett Williams. He had 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Marlon Taylor had a double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds, a lot of different guys making contributions, and that's what it's going to take. LSU lost a lot of talent to the NBA last year. Skylar Mays might be the SEC MVP thus far. He has to continue to lead this team late in games.
You know, I'm a little, it takes me a little while, a couple weeks to transition into basketball, but I got to ask you, since you're always staying on top of this stuff, but that being said, is he not wearing the short shorts this year? I haven't noticed Emmett Williams with the short shorts. I thought that my guy told me he was going to have a different look, one of them short and one of them regular, but I haven't noticed it. So I just know that they need him to play well. And as long as him and Dave stay out of foul trouble, they're okay. If those two get in foul trouble, got to go to the bench, then you got to go small, and then it makes it problematic. Now, You got Bishop, who is the point guard. They thought they were going to get more out of him. So we'll see if they can expand on that lineup just to keep the guys from playing 35, 36, 37 minutes every night.
Javonte Smart has done a great job. He had 18 points. Javonte Smart had 13 points last night playing that point guard spot. Look, senior guard play is something that every college team really craves. They need it to be successful. Skylar Mays has done a great job being a leader on and off the court. You know how smart he is. Takes care of the basketball, makes his free throws. He's just one of those team glue guys that you really need to have in the locker room.
He's made a lot of big shots, and I know what you're saying, and I know what you're thinking. We all love Skylar Mays, but damn, sometimes he just puts his head down and like a bull in a china closet goes to the hole, and sometimes it gets blocked. Sometimes he uses the rim to protect, and he shoots it on the other side. Other times, he'll draw a foul and have the three-point play. But, man, they're going to miss him. He's been so solid, like you alluded to. Javonte, he's got to play a little bit more smarter. Still too many stupid turnovers. But look, I don't know. We've kidding that Coach Wade is feeding off. And I'm a firm believer he is feeding off this positive energy this LSU football team has given everybody. Dede Bros trying to feed off of it in gymnastics. It's a great time for a Tiger fan to enjoy it. And, hey, let's talk about some of these players we're going to hear from now.
That's right. Will Wade has put last season far behind him with all that controversy. He is now the guy in the head office for good. We'll let you guys hear from Coach Will Wade as his team goes 6-0 in the SEC last night against the Florida Gators. Here is head coach Will Wade.
That every time we play Florida, I don't know, I was kind of expecting a little different when we had an 11-point lead, but it's like I told him, we've been real good at coming from behind in these situations. Now we got to be a little bit better, make some better decisions, playing from ahead. So that was my fault. That wasn't the players' fault at the end of the game. I just did a bad job with some of our execution, and quite frankly, we haven't worked on it very much in practice because we spent our time working on a lot of other things. So we got some time Thursday where we can certainly get some things corrected that we need to get corrected. But at the end of the day, we played well. We pounded the paint. We only took 14 threes. We did what we needed to do to win. I think we took 47 twos and took a ton of free throws, which is our formula for winning. Kill people at the free throw line, pound people in the paint, and we drove the ball really well. I thought, we'd be kicking ourselves at the first half. We missed 7 or 8 layups, and we were stuck on 15 or 16 points for forever. But at the end of the day, we found a way. It wasn't pretty, and certainly wasn't how we wanted it to end. But it's like I told our guys, it's a win. Let's enjoy it. We're 6-0 in league. We can get to correcting things, tomorrow and Thursday as we get ready for Texas.
Coach, how important was it, to out-rebound this Florida team by 10 rebounds and then also to get 15 offensive rebounds?
Yeah, the offensive rebounds were really important, and thought we did a good job. Johnson for them has been a real pain for us. He killed us in the games last year as a freshman. He's been a real issue for us, and thought we did a better job boxing him out tonight, especially down the stretch. Skylar got the jump ball, and Hyatt did a good job boxing him out. Hyatt made some winning plays. I know his stuff in the stat sheet doesn't jump off the page at you, but he made some big time winning plays. So, at the end of the day, the rebounding certainly helped us because they're a really good rebounding team. They came into the game as one of the best rebounding margins in the SEC.
This was as good, I think, as we've seen Marlon all year. Is he really starting to feel confident with that foot? And
I think so. I think he's, I always say this to people. He's like a high-end track athlete. Those of you who cover track, those people, everything has to be absolutely perfect in alignment for them to run, and that's how Marlon is. He's obviously a high-level athlete. So all his stuff, and I think he's feeling confident. And like I said, Sean and Doc have done a tremendous job. I mean, he's getting hour to 2 hours of treatment every day. I mean, he's in there getting treatment after the game right now. So, I mean, he's just, you know, he understands what he's got to do to put himself in a position to be able to go out there and play. But the way he was flying around the rim and 6 offensive rebounds and some huge offensive rebounds in the second half, you know, that's what we need from him. I mean, our teams, we're coming along now. You know, we got him playing at a high level, and we get Charles Manning back. He was playing at an extremely high level coming into that, and Hyatt's giving us good minutes. Like we're starting to build. I'm excited about what we can do here moving forward.
Coach, I said to the players, and I want to ask you too, you know, you did have that 11-point lead. You let them back into the game, and it seemed like they were knocking down the threes real good. And my take from it was that, you know, maybe you got to defend that three-point line. That's the only way a team's really going to come back on you, the way you guys pounded inside and play so tough. Is that the takeaway you have?
Yeah, we've got to do, 11 hit a corner three, which is where that's by far his best spot. I mean, he's an unbelievable shooter from the corner threes. And then we got sucked in on some help where we shouldn't have been worried about giving up a 2. And we got sucked in on some help and gave 10 their best shooter a 3. Where it really got us is, we called timeout at 3:24. I called timeout. Probably hindsight, I shouldn't have called timeout. I called timeout because I didn't think we were going to be able to get to the under 4 media timeout. And I thought our guys were tired. I thought we were going to give up something easy. I wanted to call timeout, set our defense, let our guys rest a little bit. Now, in hindsight, the roof was about to come off the place. I probably shouldn't have done it. And then we come out of the timeout, and we give up one of their basic plays where they run lock off a triple baseline screen, and we give them a 3. And so that really backfired on us. That was bad coaching on my part. I thought we were tired and worn out. I didn't think the media was going to come to like 2.5 minutes. I thought by that point we'd have given up some open looks. But looking back, I probably should just let our guys play. I probably overthought it a little bit. I thought, we got up 10 at Ole Miss and we had some terrible possessions. I thought maybe if I'd have called timeout at Ole Miss, I could have calmed us down earlier. And so I went into the game thinking if we get a double-digit lead and I don't sense things right, I'm going to burn a timeout. And it took all our momentum and probably allowed them to get back in the game late in the game. So that's something I've got to learn from and get better. I will say I thought the crowd was awesome. The student section was great. That's as good as the students have been all year. And we need those guys on a Tuesday night, 6 o'clock tip. It's tough for people to get here. You got to come across the bridge from Lafayette, come across the bridge from New Orleans and Houma and all that. And so, it's tough for our folks to get here. So it was huge having a great student turnout, and hopefully we can keep it going. We've got the road game obviously Saturday, then we've got 2 home games next week in SEC play where we need our students and our fans to be here and really help us out.
Coach, Javonte and Skylar each had 7 assists. What's it like to have that sort of selfless play from your backcourt, and how does it equate to team success?
Yeah, I thought Javonte really did a good job of finding mismatches. They do a lot of switching, so we didn't want to just pick at mismatches. We wanted to move the ball and then get it to the mismatch. I thought Javonte and Skylar both did a tremendous job of that. We until the last minute, from about the 12-minute mark in the first half until the last minute of the game, we only turned it over 1 time. Now we turned it over 7 times in the first 8 to 9 minutes of the game, and we turned it over 3 times in the last minute and 12 seconds or whatever it was. But we only had 1 turnover in that whole other span, and I thought that really helped us. That's why we were able to build the lead. When we value the ball and get a shot on the rim, we're very, very tough because we get on the offensive glass and we do we can get that thing on the rim. We're in good shape.
Coach, what happened from your perspective? The final seconds there, you had a 4-point lead. They make a shot, and with 0.5, it has to be a tip, right? There's not enough time.
0.5, you can shoot it. We just had a blown coverage. We blew coverage and we weren't aligned right, and we'll get that corrected.
You talked the other day about Skylar's patience. I think he had like 14 points in the second half. Just his ability to pick spots and then close games out for you despite all the last-minute stuff.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. He was just kind of plugging along, and they were building their defense into him. And when he got the ball in the mismatch, they were really at the elbows. There was not a whole lot of places to drive the ball. And so we had to get it moving, and he got going when he got it in the corner and was able to drive it. We called a couple set plays for him. And even on the sets that we normally run for him, Florida did a good job. They do a great job scouting. I think they're one of the better teams in our league at scouting. I think my staff does a great job, and I think Florida, Auburn. I think there's some really good teams scouting-wise in our league, and I think they're one of the better ones. And even the plays we were running for him, they were loading to him, and he had to hit slips and stuff like that. But it's like I tell him, eventually, you know, every team, the first probably thing they say about us is, you got to block them out. You got to block them out. Well, that sounds good, but for about the first 4 or 5 minutes, you'll block us out. But if we keep going, you can't block us out all night. Like, we're eventually going to just kind of break the dam, and the water's going to flow over. And so we've got to keep going. And that's the thing with Skylar. They can be focused on him for periods of time, but over the course of a 40-minute game, you're going to lose him quite a bit, and lets him to get loose, and that's what he did in the second half.
Mike was in here. He talked about the familiarity between the two staffs, and said you guys really like going at each other. I remember what you said in pregame about, you know, their staff and the way they work. Do you have coaches or teams that you like matching up against, like, just because of the
Well, you
battle?
just know it's going to be like, you go in and you know they're going to change some things up, and you're worried about what they're going to do. We go in. I mean, we changed some things up for them. You know, he looked back at me. We called a baseline out of bounds play box gator, and he's going, "What is?" You know, something we just put in for them. You know, so I mean, you know, they had some different wrinkles on a few things for us, and so, you know, like I said, I think their staff and you know, Coach Armstrong and him work together. Coach Armstrong worked with Coach Pinkins. We know Coach Nichols. We know all those guys extremely well, and so. They do a tremendous job. I think my staff does as good a job as anybody in the league as well. And so, you know, strength on strength. They're going to take away some of your stuff. You're going to take away some of their stuff, and it's a reason all our games are close. The talent level's close. You know, the staffs are close. You know, everything's close. So they're all close games.
Head coach Will Wade, you heard him say right at the end that all these games have been close. SEC is so close in talent and coaching staffs, especially when LSU plays Florida. There's something in the water. That game is coming down to the end.
Unbelievable what they have done in the last 25 SEC games. Of course, they will play at Texas. How about this? Baseball played at Texas. LSU football played at Texas. Now basketball at Texas. 1 o'clock SEC Big 12 deal, and I don't know about Smart over at Texas. We all thought he was going to be a home run hire over there, and they're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but they'll want to win that game. But the next 3 LSU games in the SEC are very, very winnable. So, you know, this team could jump into the next time we see you next week. They should be in the top 25. And who knows? But Will Wade has set a high standard, and I guess we all wish there'd be more fan support. But all you people who leave early just to beat the traffic, you missed a heck of a finish last night.
That's right. After Texas, LSU will travel to Austin to play Texas in Texas. They will host Alabama, host Ole Miss, then travel to Nashville for Vanderbilt. So yeah, as you mentioned, three winnable games. That's right. LSU was led last night by Emmett Williams. He led the team in scoring. Him, Skylar Mays, and Javonte Smart all sat down with the reporters after the game. We'll let you guys hear from their post-game press comments right here on Tigers Roar.
No, we got to keep it close, man. That's just kind of how things work out. It's worked for us, so why not stick with it?
But when these two teams get together, it's always exciting at the end.
Yeah. You know, I've seen crazier things happen in my time here, but you know, that was just a great game. Credit to them; they're a quality team. They're resilient, just like us. Luckily, we were able to pull this one out.
Skylar, what was Coach saying with 0.5 seconds left? Was he telling you guys anything to do on defense with Florida having the ball?
Yeah, we wanted to switch everything. I was guarding the guy who was taking it out, so I couldn't see what was going on. But, you know, obviously they were in a great play and got an open look. And luckily the buzzer went out before. But, you know, we got to do a better job at the end of the game. We know how to get ourselves back in it now. Now when we have the lead, we got to figure out how to, you know, take care of it. But, you know, credit to these guys. You know, we're 6-0, so we just keep winning.
Skylar, it really seemed like for much of that second half, it was you and Marlon. You guys' energy and play in the second half really kind of helped you guys build that double-digit lead. Can you just talk a little bit about Marlon's performance tonight? It looked like it was his best one of the year.
Yeah, Marlon was awesome. You know, he's kind of finding his footing, and you know, it's kind of been bumpy for him because he's been out so long. But you know, credit to him because he's continued to work and just have the right mindset. And now things are turning for him. So, we're just hoping that he can keep that up. We expect him to keep that up.
So for Javonte and then Emmett, just what does it mean to be 6-0? Kind of the scrappy way that you guys have done it this season as well. If you both could answer, start with Javonte.
It means a lot. We just want to keep winning and just keep this winning streak, going. Next game we play Texas, we just want to go in that game and just come out with a victory and be 7-0.
We take it one game at a time, focus on one team. And
What about the scrappy nature of getting it, fighting for everyone?
I can't hear you.
Just the way you've had to fight, it seems like for a lot of these, especially late.
Talking about on the boards.
Just in general, the game's going down a lot.
That's just how we play.
We trying to work on that. It come down to a 6-minute game. Every day we work on that at practice. Coach tell us, we can't foul. Stay solid on D and make our free throws so we can come out with the win.
Emmett, how big was it? You guys outscored Florida in the paint 50-32, and you had 19. How important is that as you guys were kind of struggling from downtown?
It's huge, but I want to give all the credit to my whole team because we did a great job keeping the ball out of the paint. As you can see, me and Darius are short 5 men, y'all can say, but I think we're the biggest guys in the world.
Okay, Javonte and Skylar. Skylar, you said we need to do a better job. Was it rushing for shots there at the end when you should have maybe possessed the ball a little bit longer? What things can you point to there in the final minute that didn't go right?
For myself, I think I took, one shot where I just tried to put it on the backboard when I definitely should have taken it out and let them foul me to get free throws. And then I wasn't careful with the ball and gave Lewis a chance to knock it out, and the ball came out on me. So I should have put 2 hands on the ball. That's just off the top of my head. There are probably some other mistakes I made, but I think we can do a better job, and we have a group of guys that are going to listen and learn from this. So I'm not too worried.
Yeah, yes, Skylar, you're down. Charles is still not playing, still hurt, but y'all put 6 guys in double figures. What does that say about this team? The way it kind of digs when a guy's out and you got to pick up the slack.
Yeah, we're super talented, man, and we have that next man up mentality. We can't wait to have Charles back, but we got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the goal, and we're just playing hard for each other, and things are going right for us right now.
You had them down by 11 with 3:24 left in the game, and they had their best scoring run after that, an 8-point run with 36 seconds left. From my standpoint, the reason that they came back was they were knocking down 1 3 after another. My question to you guys is the learning experience from this game, to me, is that you got to protect that 3-point line against these teams, because that's really how a team can hurt you guys, because you dominate inside and you're tough as nails. I really like the way you guys play. Is the take that I see what you guys see too? You got to defend that 3-point line. You can't let these teams shoot that 3 on you. They got really hot with the 3s, and that's how they got back in the game.
We gave up some big 3s down the stretch. They hit some big shots, brought it back in the game. We just got to follow our scouting report and, not let the people that shoot the 3s. We call them curds. They make a lot of 3s. Just try to deny them and not let them make 3s.
Emmett, a lot of people were worried about rebounding early in the season. You beat these guys by 10 on the boards tonight with a pair of 6'10" guys. People keep saying, you guys keep saying it's a 1-2. Was that what it was tonight, a big part?
Yes, sir. As you can see, a lot of our teammates stepped up tonight. As you can see, Marlon Taylor had a huge double-double today. 10 and 10 and 10?
Definitely got
11 and 10. He had seven of those rebounds in the first half, so that was huge. It's huge, and you got Darius on the other side too. That's he's a huge help.
One more.
Skylar, the other day, Will said that your biggest improvement this year has been your patience, just kind of picking your spots. How are you developing in that sense? How do you feel that played out for you tonight, just kind of waiting and taking your opportunities?
Yeah, I trust my teammates. I got some talented guys around me, man. I don't have to shoot. I don't have to shoot it every time. I just try to make the right play always, and I trust these guys to make the right play. And they're doing a great job. And I think that goes back to us being balanced tonight with 6 guys getting double figures, and it's just working for us.
Skylar Mays, Javonte Smart, and Emmett Williams with a big win in the SEC against the Florida Gators last night. 84-82 was the final. You heard in the interviews how they won the boards by 10. That's a huge deal for the Tigers. They're kind of undersized in a lot of matchups. If they work hard, had the 1-2, they get the job done.
Only 2 3 balls. Got to make more 3 balls. This team is void of an outside sharpshooter, and they need that. But look, if there's a will, there's a way, and he's found a way so far. But Charles Manning can't get back quick enough. Glad to see Marlon Taylor back. He's now playing up to the standards before he was hurt. But you're going to run on empty and tire some legs out if you do not get some more bench help.
Trendon Watford, a 6'7" freshman forward. He had a good game, 14 points, 6 rebounds. Got to get more out of that young man, too, I believe, in order to be successful in the gauntlet of the SEC, moving into that SEC tournament. He's a big deal for the Tigers. It was a big get when he came and he committed as a freshman. He's played some very quality minutes and really working himself right into that starting 5 lineup. We have a lot more here on Tigers Roar, including a very special segment with TigerBait.com's Mike Scarborough. You know, Coach O's been busy recruiting ever since his trip to the White House. He's been all over the nation, and he stopped in De La Salle High School yesterday and getting his recruiting done. He loves it. He's great at it. Kids love to see him, love to hear from him. Everybody appreciates the hard work Coach O puts into recruiting. We'll hear about that and a whole lot more from Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com. We'll return from this break right here on Tigers Roar.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, Hardy Planker siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Remember the smell of vinyl? What happened to all your old records? Lost in a move? Thrown out by the ex? Get them back. Classic Vinyl's record store and collectibles, 13847 Coursey, where you can find all old vinyl, all genres of music, rock, country, blues, and R&B. Classic Vinyls and collectibles behind Mary Lee Donuts and Coursey. If they don't have it, they'll get it. Look for them on Facebook. Classic Vinyls, sponsors of Classic Vinyls Classic Rock Night Thursdays at Scoreboards on Coursey.
I'll leave for a little while, and all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. No issues even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-Guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Back. Hump night in the capital city of Baton Rouge. Tigers take down Florida last night 84-82. Zion Williamson makes his debut tonight on ESPN at 8:30. And of course, the hardest working man in recruiting show business, Mike Scarborough, joins us for another weekly segment. Mike, I know some people think that, well, you know, it's the championships put to bed. Now you guys have a chance to go get a burger with your girlfriend and sleep and catch up on rest. But it really isn't like that in your business, is it?
No, because you've got the rest of this class to finish off. You got all the scuttlebutt about replacing coaches. Sooner rather than later, there's going to be a junior day or two scheduled. Then you got spring football, and that'll be here before you know it. Plus basketball, LSU basketball team undefeated in the league, surprising everybody, big win last night. So, yeah, it never stops. And then, of course, baseball is about to start.
Hey, let's talk about the two coaches' positions that are open. And in your opinion, Mike, what kind of relationship do they tie into with recruiting? And I'm specifically asking, does it matter with these last recruits? And by the way, folks, it's 2 weeks away from the second and final signing period. It used to be the one and only first Wednesday in February, JP. We had many years with the Bash. Of course, Twitter and social media kind of made that a little obsolete, and now with this second signing period. But does that impact any of these recruits that are signing in 2 weeks, who the passing game coordinator or who the DC would be, Mike?
No, I don't think that's going to have any bearing on LSU. I think the LSU brand now is at the pinnacle of college football, and Ed Orgeron is such the figurehead of the program that position coaches or who's going to be the passing game coordinator, et cetera, I don't think that matters. Now, I do think that just like this time last year, where everybody was second guessing or saying, I'll believe that the offense is going to be different when I see it. Well, now you might have a little bit of people saying, I'll believe that the offense is prolific or is called the same way or as good as it was last year. But, I mean, that you're going to get some of that even if Joe Brady had stayed, just because you don't have Joe Burrow anymore. So, but I think that this class, it's really the cake is baked, and then now you're looking at 2021, and certainly, you know, LSU's eyeballing Caleb Williams, the five-star quarterback. You know, Georgia just got a big quarterback commitment for 21, and it really is stacking up well for LSU with Caleb Williams. And look, and he's not the only guy, because Garrett Nussmeier really likes LSU, and he wants to make a decision around Easter. So I think LSU is going to have a top-flight quarterback in the fold, you know, sometime here in the next month or two.
All right, your take on the latest, Mike, on the candidates for defensive coordinator. Obviously, Dave Aranda took over at Baylor, and we wish him the best. And everybody knows he was kind of known as the professor. Bo Pelini is a name that's been bandied about the last 2 or 3 days. Of course, Bo Pelini, I'm going to give him credit to start off. He stayed with LSU, and JP, this became kind of commonplace where these teams are playing for national championships. These coordinators get a head coaching job, but they feel like they have to because of what I mean, let's be honest, without the head coach, Les Miles, he doesn't get that gig at Nebraska, but he stayed on and won a national championship. It happened with some of Nick's coaches. Mike, what's the timetable, and who other than Pelini are the hot names you're hearing?
Man, it just seems to me that it's all eyes on Pelini. Any of the other names that are out there right now, I don't see where there's a whole lot of substance behind their names being dropped, or it doesn't seem to be the guy. It just seems like there's a whole lot of negotiating and figuring things out and for Bo Pelini.
By the way, Bo is no longer getting that sugar daddy check from Nebraska, which was, I thought I read $129,000 a month. How would you like to have one of those, JP?
That'd be nice. Wouldn't mind that.
But
and you know, I talked to the Nebraska guy today for about 45 minutes about the whole situation, and boy, Pelini really wanted to stick it in Nebraska. Was very bitter about his firing.
Yeah.
Told me a story about how the movers came to move him, and when he found out that they were Nebraska Cornhusker fans at the company, he canceled the order because he didn't want anybody from Nebraska moving him. I mean, he's just, the whole thing about Youngstown State and making them, Nebraska, continue to pay his salary, no negotiation. They got story after story about those kind of things involving Pelini.
Well, and the irony of it, of course, is that he left after a national championship, and here it is, if he would get the gig, he'd come in. I brought that up about Nebraska because he's not getting that money, and now, Mike, you got to figure that LSU's going to be talking $1 million, $1.5 million, or $2 million for him to be the DC, and since he's not getting that money from Nebraska, but...
and this is what my guy says. Look, there's no debating the quality of defensive coordinator that Bo Pelini is.
Yeah.
And that's not the debate. My initial thought when his name first started getting dropped on lists and being a possibility, I was just like, my first thought was, how in the heck can him and Ed Orgeron get along? Everything's initially a honeymoon period. But what about it's in the heat of the battle, and like you had mentioned earlier today, when there's a disagreement on how aggressive to be or different calls on the defense, and they clash. Those are two guys right there that are fiery.
Right.
He'd definitely have to get some thicker skin, JP. He's had the thin skin. Mike, what about Munoz?
It's a lot easier when it was Les Miles as the head coach, because he was on the offensive side of the ball, sticking his nose in Greg Studrawa's business.
Right.
All right, what about Munoz and other possibilities as the passing game coordinator?
Yeah, nothing was offered by Baylor. I don't know if that will change. I think he's also looking at for a position somewhere in college football, not just being an analyst. But we'll see how that ends up playing out. Is there a possibility he still is at LSU? We'll see. But he spent almost a decade at with the Cajuns, and before becoming LSU, and I know that they covet and think he's valuable, but you also have to have a guy in that position who can recruit and wants to get on the road and do those sorts of things.
Yeah, Mike, I actually read that Ron Roberts, the former Southeastern head coach, defensive coordinator for UL Lafayette, will be traveling to Baylor to go be defensive coordinator for Dave Aranda. That's definitely an upgrade. A big-time program, defensive coordinator, did a good job, both stops in Louisiana, but you got to be happy for a guy like Ron Roberts, who's been sticking away and now going to be defensive coordinator at Baylor.
Yeah, and I think one of the big stories is Bill Bush staying at LSU. Not only is that, I think, he and Joe Brady are the two most impressive hires that Orgeron's made. You don't have Joe Burrow without Bill Bush.
Right.
But the fact that, part of the reason why he was there is because of Dave Aranda. Dave Aranda wanted him to come in and coach safeties, and he didn't follow Aranda to Baylor. So that's absolutely huge.
Yeah, I respect him so much. I almost wish Bush would get an interview about the D.C. But one other tidbit, Dennis Spaghetti and Meatball Johnson, I just made that up. He's called Meatball, but I'm sure he likes spaghetti and meatballs, if that's his nickname. He's going to stay, Mike, and we don't know at this point whether he will go back to his D-line coach or be an analyst, but it does look like he will be part of the LSU coaching staff in some way or form or fashion next year.
Yeah, look, he was. That's another thing you give Coach Orgeron credit for. A lot of coaches previous, before Ed Orgeron got to LSU, if they were an analyst or inside the building guy, they really didn't have much of a way upward in the program. They had to leave the program in the hopes of maybe coming back one day. And Orgeron has elevated guys that in the past would have gotten looked over because people thought the grass was greener somewhere else. So, Coach Orgeron thinks the world of Dennis Johnson. So we'll see how that works out long term.
Another name being tossed around, Mike, to come in and help Ensme would be Curtis Johnson, former head coach for Tulane. He has been with the Saints for a long time, wide receivers, offensive specialist. Do you think that has any fruition or any traction at this point?
Yeah, I think it's one of those deals now where if the money's similar, with a lot of these coaches that have been around for a while, it comes down to quality of life. And that's why a lot of coaches, you think it's their motivation to get to the pro level, and the NFL being the biggest prize of all. But in reality, a lot of them are going there because of quality of life. The fact that you get a lot of downtime and off-season time, whereas in college football, you work long days and you don't have many days off.
Yeah, and by the way, now that you're saying all this and you guys are talking about it, I want to give a tip of my water to those ladies who were there for their husbands. We all know that when you're a coach's wife, the good Lord sees you after you pass, sees a resume and says you're not going to spend a second in purgatory. You were a coach's wife. So here's to all those coaches' wives, and don't think for a fact that folks, those ladies do a lot. Not only are they raising most of the kids, but they have got to talk to that husband when they can. And Mike, look, James Craig will get there at 4 or 5 in the morning and not leave till 10, 11, sometimes midnight. It is a tough job. And for all those ladies that did a great job.
And that's the whole point. People say, well, they make $600,000 a year. Like, man, when do those guys get to enjoy that kind of income?
It is tough. So here's to the ladies for the great job they did.
Their wives get to enjoy it, probably out spinning them blind all day long. But no, I think that's where, the NCAA and the coaches are going to have to get together and say, yeah, you guys like that early signing period. You like having official visits in the spring and all the camps and the spring evaluation period, blah, blah, blah. They need to have some guaranteed days where you can't answer the phone when a recruit calls. You're not calling recruits. There's mandatory days off at different quarters of the year. Everything but football season.
That also is a toast to the First Lady of LSU football, Kelly Orgeron, who JP and Mike, we know, had a real medical scare, but she was the one with her faith that said to Coach O, after he didn't get that promotion to be the head guy at USC, God has a different plan for us. And I know they look back that. Can you believe when Coach O was asked about how you're going to celebrate? He said, me and Kelly are simple people. We're going to go have a ham sandwich. I mean, if you ever wanted a steak, that was the night to get it. But those are great people, and I know Kelly's been a big part of the evolution of Ed, learning from his mistakes. And let's be honest, it's hard to wear 17 hats when you're a head man. And, of course, Mike, as we talk recruiting with you, now that LSU's going in this direction and such a hot brand, people are expecting them once again to have some solid names in 2 weeks. So if you could, give us a little idea of what we might be going over in 2 weeks with the potential recruits on February 5th.
Well, I think, look, they got to have a running back. I think one to watch for is Kevontre Bradford from Lancaster, Texas. He's a 5'11", 195-pounder. Ohio State was a school he visited. I think he's the guy to pay attention to. Certainly McKinley Jackson, the defensive lineman, who is absolutely fantastic. He'll be in for an official visit this weekend. We'll see if he ends up taking that A&M visit next week, and it seems to be that maybe they're a little bit nervous about that. He went to Alabama for an unofficial visit this past weekend. And then you got a wide receiver, Alex Adams, from South Pike High School in Magnolia, who's one to watch. 3-star LSU Mississippi State battle for him. He was a Mississippi State commitment at one time, and he's really taken to Mike Leach right now. So, back on December 18th, when you had a couple of defections and you were looking at how many spots that we were left, maybe some people were hand-wringing a little bit. I'm kind of liking the fact that maybe you hold back a couple of spots and really utilize that transfer portal. See, go through spring football, knock on wood, what your injury situation is, where you after going through spring, you realize you need help that you didn't think you needed before, and then use those spots for grad transfers. I think that's the way to look at it. It kind of puts you in a catbird seat.
Couple of comments about 2021, Mike, and I know you really like Mason a lot. He's got a California buddy, Corey Freeman, and those two have intimated they may want to play at the same school. If you would, just give us an overview about 2021, and I know you kind of broke the story when that wide receiver from Texas decommitted with Herman a while back, and he's wearing LSU gloves and balling out. So talk a little bit about what 2021, what they're going to look for. And obviously, it looks like we're going to probably have a decision relatively soon on who might be the bell cow quarterback in that class, right?
Yeah. Caleb Williams, Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback. Certainly they're going to recruit nationally again at the running back spot. You got multiple fantastic wide receivers in the state of Louisiana. They're going to have the pick of the litter there. Chris Hilton, Brian Thomas at Walker. Then you got the best kid, it's STM, that everybody wants to pay attention to and see if he can clock in a solid 40 time. Got Kane Williams, the safety, Mason Smith, who you mentioned. Really like Savion at St. James at defensive end. Will Byron Turner get an offer from St. Aug? And then, of course, you're going to recruit nationally. You mentioned Corey Foreman, #1 player, arguably in the country. Close friends with Mason Smith, and Ed Orgeron has been all over him, and they've been building a relationship for quite some time. Talk at least once weekly, I'm told. So there's a lot on the board. But like I was saying earlier, you grab one of those two quarterbacks, and I think Caleb Williams is the first one that you're looking for. It'll all start to fall into place because he's not only the top dual threat quarterback in the country, high charisma kid. He's got the it factor. That he's gonna be the guy to watch. Then 2022 you'll have Walker Howard that is continue to add more scholarship offers, and that's it.
That's great stuff, Mike. We certainly appreciate you spending some time with us here on Tigers Roar. Before we let you go, tell everybody about TigerBait.com and what's going on the site now that the 2019 football season is officially over.
We're absolutely overflowing with content. I got some special stuff working on right now. Don't want to give it away, but you want to go to TigerBait.com. Grab onto the annual package. We've had an unbelievable last week or two of new subscribers, and we thank everyone who's subscribed with us. And we've got a lot of free stuff on the site as well. So go to tigerbait.com, get you a subscription, and get involved on our Tiger Den premium message board.
Thank you, Mike. Look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, guy. And you know, it's kind of funny. If we would replay the film from a couple of years ago, and people have a tendency to overreact when commits leave LSU at the altar. And a couple of them did, and because of that, they got a DB from Stanford.
That's right.
A grad transfer.
Yep.
And they also got Joe Burrow.
Quarterback.
And I don't think anybody could ever say it would work out any better than that. But the dots that I'm connecting here is that it will be interesting to see if they save a spot or two. Now, you could only sign 25 in a year. If you sign 23, the next year, obviously, with the math, you can sign 27. So it will be interesting to see how they play their cards on who they take, if they save a spot, and if they have something at the end that's going to be like Burrow. But don't fret. It is going to be a reload and rebuild. But I think I've got more people telling me I'm really excited to see. I know it's not going to be as good as it was this past season. I'll never see that again. But don't think that LSU is going to go back to 8-4, 7-5. This is going to be, if they beat Texas in week 2, then they've got a chance to be undefeated before they play Florida in the Swamp. So
a lot of 4- and 5-star will be on next year's roster for LSU. So don't fret. LSU doesn't rebuild; they just reload. I want to thank Mike Scarver from TigerBait.com for joining us in the last segment. We have gymnastics coming up. We'll hear from Coach Dee Bro, the longtime head of the gymnastics program. They're in a little bit of a rebuilding stage. They lost a lot of talent off of the team last season. Lexi Priestman, McKenna Kelly, Sarah Finnegan, all world-class gymnasts, but they have a new batch of outstanding young stars. We'll hear from Coach Dee Bro right after this break right here on Tigers Roar.
Taste the feeling.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
Belello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Continue here on Tigers Roar. I'm Jonathan Poche. He's the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji. We're at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come check it out. TVs all around. You check out all the sports you could ever want. Great food, great drinks, great people. Come check out Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Bud Man, I want to talk some LSU gymnastics. Head coach Dee Dee Bro's been doing it for a very long time, over 40 years. Just had a birthday. Happy late birthday, Coach Dee Dee Bro. LSU just defeated number 20 in the nation, Auburn, with the final score of 196.575 to 196.275. Freshman Kaya Johnson was named SEC Gymnast of the Week, winning 3 events against Auburn, all-around, floor, and beam. She also came in second with the vault with a career-high 9.925. She's a new face around LSU, but one you're going to have to get to know.
Yeah, Dee Dee had her birthday on Sunday, so we say happy birthday. And I'm going to go ahead and make this prediction right now. We're taping on Wednesday, January 22nd. They've got another meet this Friday. Book it. Take it to the bank. They're going to bust 197 this weekend. They've been close. They've had some falls. When you have a fall on the beam or bars or whatever, you invariably got to count a 9-3. Yep. And so I'm going to say that they'll get through those apparatus this week and go 197-1, breaking 197 for the first time. A little bit of a reload and rebuild because, as you said, all of those stars that they had were so classy and so clutch. Yeah. But Kennedy, Edney, and others, very interesting, and it's just so family-oriented. The kids love going out there. Check out LSU Gymnastics if you can get a chance this year.
Here is head coach Dee Dee Bro after the win against Auburn. Looking forward to the upcoming meets in the SEC. Here is Coach Dee Dee Bro.
Well, you know, I say all the time, consistency wins. And it's a part of the puzzle. It's part of the whole thing that we have to put together. And her hitting on all cylinders in the all-around certainly does add a really important piece to the puzzle. But the bigger picture is the whole team and building to where she is in the lineup.
As this team starts to form an identity, are you seeing girls maybe coming to their own in a way that you didn't know? Is that kind of still a process kind of unfolding in front of your eyes?
I think the expectation that we had in the beginning of the year was a realistic expectation, and this is about how we expected this to play out. You know, you can't anticipate injuries, but you know you're going to have them and setbacks. But we are moving in a real positive direction and getting some people in the lineup and getting good productivity out of a freshman class that was very highly touted. And so we're real excited about that. The thing that's really kind of stalling us right now is a injury to Christina Desiderio that's just going to take time to get better. But this team is competing about where we thought they would at this point in time. The inconsistencies you can't predict, and we certainly don't practice to have those. We've seen incredibly consistent and high-scoring inter-squads, and I think we're due a good 4-event meet.
What's Desiderio's problem?
It's a strain in a hip flexor or adductor muscle. It's just in her hip. And every time we push her forward to let her start doing things, and we have a setback. So we've really put the brakes on, and the last 2 weeks have been extremely cautious and not let her do much.
You should be out again.
I'm hoping we can use her this weekend on beam. We'll know more when we do the inter squad. She's a critical part of that event, and you know that once we get her on beam, then we're going to try to get her back in the floor as quickly as we can.
So, having 11,227 fans. Did that help, you know, the team as you guys won by 0.3 of a point in the match against Auburn?
It does help. You know, the excitement and the energy that our fans bring, and just the youthful enthusiasm that you see in the PMAC at gymnastics events is really exciting. And the crowd that comes is a crowd that's a lot like our team, and so you know it reflects the energy and enthusiasm that I think our team has, and it's a reflection of the hard work that this program has put in, but our marketing people as well.
How much discussion y'all have before the season and as an all-arounder? I mean it's a lot of responsibility for.
Well, we recruited her as an all-arounder. We knew what she could do as an all-arounder. Would we like to be able to pull her out of an event from time to time? Yeah, that would be great, because she does get tired, and she has a long recovery weekend. However, she's our highest scoring athlete at this time, and we got to get the scores everywhere we can, and she's where we're going right now. Kennedy's given us great scores. We haven't had her best all around yet. She's had little kinks in different events, but she sure showed up Friday night. So that was a good showing for Kennedy.
Coach, now that you've had the home meets, you've had an away meet, and big freshman class I'll be relying on. Do you feel like they've, I guess, maybe become a little bit more comfortable now that they've at least seen what it's like to do both?
I think they've seen what it's like to do both. I don't think they've really experienced what it's like to have the ultimate meet, to go 24 hits and not have to count a fall or a big break, and that's what we're pushing for. That's what we're looking. Our goal is to do that. But once you start talking about that and putting pressure on the kids to do that, then that becomes their focus and their focal point. And all we want is a good performance. All we want is all they can do, the best they can do. And so right now we're in the process of getting that.
So what do you do with a lot of the mistakes? Seem like maybe you get a fall here that you have to count. It's just not a bunch of sticks. Is that just you can't prepare for that, or is that something you can do in the gym that can kind of help them with the?
It's something, preparing for practicing sticking and the consistency in the performance. We practice that every day. I mean, that's our goal. That's our intention when we come in the gym. And I think we had more sticks this meet than we've had in the prior two meets. And that's the team that sticks landings and hits handstands and is confident when they get on the beam and know that they're on target. That's the team that's going to win the meet. And we feel like we've got the right formula. And, we talk to the kids about not digging a hole. The law of holes is when you find yourself in one, quit digging. And so we're trying to live by that mantra.
So with Sarah Edwards, was she relaxed? She scored a 9.95 on the vault and 1 vault with high score.
She was very relaxed, but she prepares. I mean, she only trains 2 events, so she prepares every day to do that, to vault with that kind of precision and that kind of accuracy. And for this team to be successful and have the 49.45, 49.5, 49.6 team score on that event, she's got to stick. She's got to do everything she's capable of doing. And, we've changed her difficulty on floor exercise, and she's getting in the groove of doing a double layout instead of a double full. So, we're really anxious for her.
What do you expect when you go to...
I'm sorry.
You're good. What do you expect when you go to Gainesville?
Our expectation is always, up here. We always, set very high expectations and anticipate that delivery is going to be at the same place that our expectations are. We want the kids to relax and be able to go out there and feel their performance and have fun with it. And when that starts to happen, it becomes organic and it becomes a very natural performance.
Do you think athletes build more confidence on the road at times? Is that even a thing, or
I think sometimes they do because the bigness, everything that goes on in the PMAC and the pressure of performing in front of your family and friends, and that takes on a different stress level. And when you're away, you're strictly focused on your performance and you block everything out. So it's a different thing. And you have to remember, this year none of our championships are going to be at home. Last year we felt like everything was going to be at home. So it's a different mindset.
Obviously, the crowd doesn't necessarily affect you guys dramatically because you're not cheering against you per se. But maybe at Gainesville, kind of like at Auburn, is there a similar thing where they're?
No, it's not. The students, the fans are not right on top of you. There's a separation, kind of like it is in the PMAC. A lot like it is in the PMAC. There's a separation between the athlete and the fans, and it's it's a great venue. It's a great trip. It's a good place to compete. The crowd is always friendly, and it's a great Florida team. Always a great Florida team, and we're a great LSU team. We're going to knock heads.
Shaniko didn't compete for you on Friday night. I know she actually had falls for the first 2 times out on bars, but she has a very dynamic routine.
She's got a great routine, and Scott, it's the Jared Lee effect. We don't want to put her out there and have her fail too many times, and that kind of will squelch her self-confidence and her enthusiasm for what she's doing, and start to have a lot of self-doubt. When her confidence is high and she's coming back from an injury that the rehab has been very challenging for her, and every day we come in the gym, she does something new. And are we a better team when she's in the inner squad and she hits and does great? Yes. Are we a better team when she goes in the PMAC or and doesn't do her best? No, because she wears it. She carries her mistakes around with her for a while. So we're trying to pull her through that. But when she begins to hit on all cylinders, she's a beautiful gymnast. I mean, I don't know if you've seen her warm up, but her inter squad performances, she's about ready on beam, and Bob's going to start her a little more vaulting this week, and it's going to be a process. But she is a fabulous gymnast, and we will be a better team when we have her in there hitting.
Did you hope to have her in the lineup?
I hope to have her in the lineup in bars this weekend, and maybe in the next 2 weeks in balance beam.
LSU Gymnastics will travel to Gainesville, take on the second-ranked Florida Gators on Friday. Catch that on ESPN2, 6:30. D.D. Bro, always a class.
Maybe I misspoke. Maybe the 197 is going to be the next week, because I forgot they were on the road. Always tougher scoring on the road and home. Nikki Fargas doing great with the women's basketball team, so kudos to them. They're having a great year, 14-4. Will Wade doing a great thing. And once again, we'll be back here next week. As always, JP, it's been fun tonight.
Appreciate you, Bud, man. I want to thank everybody involved with Pelican Broadcasting, our Florida director, Marty, and in the truck, Alan and Greg. They do a great job. We couldn't do this show without them. We certainly appreciate you tuning in to Tigers Roar. Tune in next week, same time, same place. We'll be at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard, a great place to watch the games. Come get some great food and meet some great people. Once again, I'm John DeFoce. He's the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji. Thanks for watching Tigers Roar.